History of English Poetry, Part 5. In the age of revival or Renaissance, we have these different periods, the Renaissance, then the Elizabethan age, which I already explained, and the Jacobean, Caroline, and Commonwealth period, which are together called the Puritan age. So I shall explain the features, characteristics of the Puritan age and also the main poets during the Puritan age. The Puritan age from 1600 to 1660. The Puritan age was the age of Puritanism. Puritanism was characterized by a spirit of somberness and pensiveness. It is dullness and darkness. So the preceding age, that is, the Elizabethan age, was full of life and joy. There was vitality in literature. There was diversity in literature. But in the Puritan age, it was total dullness and darkness. So Puritanism was a religious reform movement. Puritans were English Protestants. It's a form of Christianity. They wanted to purify the Church of England. They wanted to make changes, bring changes to the Church of England. They had a spirit of moral and religious earnestness. In keeping with the religious ideals and political standards of the Puritans, religious verse, theological tracts, and political treatises replaced romantic poetry. So during the Elizabethan age, it was mostly romantic poetry. That period is considered as the beginning of Romanticism, because there was a lot of importance to imagination. But coming to the Puritan age, the Puritans, they were hardcore religious people. They wanted morality. They shut down the theaters of England. And during this period and the succeeding period, there was no activity in the sphere of drama because theaters were shut down. So this period was characterized by a spirit of dullness and darkness. A great moral change came over the people of England. England became a people of a book, and that book was the Bible. So you can imagine how when people become highly religious, they shun all sensuality or happiness. That was the main characteristic of the Puritan age. Elizabethan and Puritan literatures. So coming to the literature of these periods, let us see the differences between the preceding Elizabethan age and the Puritan age. Elizabethan age was diverse in form. There was prose, there was drama, there was poetry. But in spite of this diversity, they were unified. So I explained in one of the previous videos that during the Elizabethan age, they were threats against the country. But Queen Elizabeth I, she was able to unify the people of her nation. So there was a spirit of nationalism. So as a result, there was a unified spirit. People were patriotic and they were devoted to their queen. But with Puritans, there was no such devotion to the crown. The devotion was towards a religion. England became divided by the struggle for political and religious liberty. Elizabethan literature is full of youth and vitality. As I told you, people were happy. There was a lot of literary output. But Puritan literature is characterized by sadness and pessimism. Elizabethan literature was intensely romantic, but Puritan age lacked that romantic ardor. An intellectual spirit replaced the spontaneous emotion of love and passion. During the Elizabethan age, there was spontaneous emotion of love and passion, so much importance to love and passion. But when it came to the Puritan age, it was not the heart, but the head that was given importance. So an intellectual spirit replaced the spontaneity of the Elizabethan age. So the Puritan age can be divided into three different ages. the Jacobean age from 1603 to 1625, Caroline age 1625 to 1649, and Commonwealth period from 1649 to 1660. So Jacobean age is the period of the reign of James the First. And that period, again, it was dark in mood, a pensive, somber nature. One of the main poets of this age is John Donne. And coming to the Caroline age from 1625 to 1649 is during the reign of Charles the First. So before a Jacobean age, it was Queen Elizabeth's reign. And after that came James the First, and after that Charles the First. So during the reign of Charles I, it was a time of the English Civil War. And the greatest poet of this age, John Milton, began his writing during the Caroline age. And John Milton, this age is also called the age of Milton because of John Milton's contribution. And this was the time of the religious poet George Herbert during the Caroline age. He attained great fame. And then there were a group of poets called Cavalier poets. They were poets who were dedicated to the court and the king. So they wrote poetry in praise of the king and his rule. Then the Commonwealth period from 1649 to 1660. Commonwealth period is also known as Puritan interregnum. Interregnum is a period when normal government is suspended, especially between successive reigns or regimes. So this period in English history from the execution of Charles I, who ruled during the Caroline age, he was executed in 1649. And after that, Charles II was restored in 1660. So the period from 1649 to 1660 is called the Puritan interregnum, where the normal government was suspended. So the Commonwealth period extends from the end of the Civil War and the execution of Charles I in 1649 to the restoration of Charles II in 1660. Andrew Marvell, the poet, the metaphysical poet Andrew Marvell, attained fame during the Commonwealth period. So this is the Puritan age, which comprises the Jacobean age, Caroline age, and the Commonwealth period. Metaphysical poetry. Metaphysical poets were a group of poets during the Puritan age. Metaphysical is a term loosely applied to a group of 17th century poets such as John Donne, Andrew Marvell, Henry Vaughan, George Herbert, and Richard Crashaw. So among these poets, John Donne, Marvell, and Herbert are prescribed in your syllabus. So since I shall explain metaphysical poetry in detail when we begin John Donne, I'm not venturing to explain it in detail now. Metaphysical poetry indicates a common poetic style. That is, all these metaphysical poets, they employed a common poetic style. They used figurative language, and also it indicates a way of organizing the meditative process or the poetic argument. Finally, John Milton. It is because of John Milton's contribution that the Puritan age is also called the Age of Milton. Milton was a great poet, polemic, pamphleteer, theologian, and parliamentarian. Milton is remembered for his greatest epic poem, Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost contains 12 books and it was published in 1677. Milton occupies a central position in English literature. So that is the Puritan age. He was a Puritan and he supported Oliver Cromwell in the Civil War. The periods in the history of English literature are the Old English period, Middle English period, the Renaissance, Elizabethan, Jacobean, Caroline, and Commonwealth period. So in the first semester, the poets are covered are from the Chaucerian to the Jacobean age, that is till the Commonwealth period. You have Edmund Spenser and William Shakespeare, who belong to the Elizabethan age, and then John Donne, George Herbert, Andrew Marvell, and John Milton, who belong to the Puritan age.